A Boy Called Bat. Chapter 3. No Vanilla Yogurt. Mom was supposed to be home by 5 o'clock, but 5 o'clock came and Mom did not arrive. By 5:15, Bat wanted to call the police. "That's what we're supposed to do in case of emergency," he said to Janie. She was watching TV. "This isn't an emergency, Bat." "How do you know? It might be an emergency. You don't know for sure that this isn't an emergency." "Bat, call Mom's phone if you're so worried." Bat didn't want to call Mom's phone. What if she was driving and she answered when he called and then she crashed the car? "I don't want to cause an emergency," he said. "If you had any friends to play with," Janie said, "you could hang out with them on Tuesdays and Thursdays instead of being a pain in my neck." Bat thought this was unfair and also mean, considering that he was so worried. But before he could say anything, he heard Mom's car turn into the driveway. A warm rush of relief flooded over him. He left Janie in front of the TV and ran outside. "Mom," he said, "you're late." "Easy, Bat," Mom said, climbing out of the car. "No need to be angry." Bat wasn't angry, not really. He was relieved. But instead of explaining this, Bat asked, "Did you go to the grocery store and get more vanilla yogurt?" "I didn't have time," Mom said. That was the last straw. Mom was late and Bat was worried, and now no vanilla yogurt. Bat felt a ball of anger rising up in his chest, hot and hard and loud, wanting to escape through his mouth in a yell. His eyes squinted together and his hands drew up tight against the sides of his body. Mom put her hand on his shoulder and knelt down so she could look right into Bat's eyes. But Bat didn't want to look at her eyes. He didn't want her eyes looking at him. "Calm down, Bat," Mom said in her soothing voice, the one she saved for when Bat was getting really upset. "It's okay. I had a good reason for not going to the grocery store. If you can calm yourself down, I can tell you what it is." Bat didn't care what Mom's reason was. She should have gone to the grocery store. She knew how much he liked vanilla yogurt, and it was her job to buy it for him. Bat didn't have any money or a car. If Mom didn't buy him yogurt, there would be no yogurt. But then Mom said, it was because of an animal, a baby animal. Chapter 4. Is it a... "What kind of animal?" asked Bat. "You'll see," Mom answered. She walked around to the back of the station wagon and opened the door. "Is it a puppy?" asked Bat. "You'll see," Mom answered, taking out a cardboard box with air holes poked into the top. "Is it a kitten?" Bat asked as he followed her to the front door. "You'll see," Mom answered. "Is it a duckling?" Bat asked as he bounced up and down, hands flapping excitedly. "You'll see," Mom answered. "Open the door for me, okay?" Bat pushed open the front door. "Is it a hoglet?" Mom laughed. "Where would I get a baby hedgehog?" "I don't know," Bat said, and then he had an awful thought. "Is it a baby human?" Mom walked into the living room. Janie, still watching the TV, called out, "Hey, you're late." "I know," Mom said to Janie, and then she said to Bat, "Bat, honey, I wouldn't put a baby human in a cardboard box. And anyway, would a baby human be so bad?" "Yes," Bat said firmly. "Well, it's not a baby human," said Mom. Now Janie was interested. She got up to have a closer look. "What's in the box?" she asked. "Mom brought home a baby animal," Bat yelled in a rush, trying to be the one to tell Janie, and that way she'd know that he had known about it first. "Geez, Bat, don't scream in my face. 12 inches, remember?" Bat was supposed to stay at least 12 inches away from Janie when he talked to her. She didn't like it when he got too close. There were lots of rules when it came to Janie. "How did you do on that math test?" Mom asked Janie. "Did the chart we made help?" Bat bounced up and down on the balls of his feet, pulling the collar of his shirt into his mouth and sucking on the fabric. They were going to talk about a math test? Now? "Mom," he groaned. Okay, she said. "We can talk about math later. Come on, let's go into the kitchen. There's someone I want you to meet." Chapter 5. A Tiny Pink Nose. Mom set the box on the kitchen table. "Is it sleeping?" Bat asked, his voice a whisper. "Probably," Mom said. "Babies sleep most of the time." "What is it?" Janie asked. "Bat, do you want to open the lid?" Bat didn't answer. He was too excited. Very carefully, he lifted the lid of the box and peered inside. Janie stood beside him, breathing on his ear. "You're breathing on my ear," Bat said. Janie ignored him. "It's just a bunch of rags," she said. Mom walked around to the far side of the round table and reached into the box. She scooped up the pile of material and sat down. "Look." Bat watched as Mom shifted the towel in her arms. A nose peeked out, a tiny pink nose, and then two slanted, closed eyes, a forehead covered in downy fuzz, little ears still curled tight against its head. Janie began, "Is that a—" "It's a kit," Bat said, enchanted by the tiny creature, wanting so badly to hold it. "A baby skunk." "Oh, Mom," Janie said, "I can't believe you brought home a skunk." "I had to," Mom said, rubbing the skunk's little forehead with her thumb. "He's an orphan." "Oh," breathed Janie. She leaned in closer, blocking Bat's view. "How old is he?" "You're in my way," Bat said loudly, and he pushed Janie's arm to make room for himself. "Bat," Mom said, "you need to stay calm around the skunk kit, okay? You don't want to scare him." Bat did not want to scare the skunk kit. He wanted to hold the skunk kit, maybe even feed and care for the skunk kit. But his sister was standing in his way. "Move, Janie," he hissed at her as quietly as he could hiss. "Why don't you both sit down?" Mom said. "I'll tell you all about him." Janie plopped down into the chair on Mom's right, so Bat went around her other side and sat in the chair on her left. He scooted the chair as close to Mom's as he could. The kit was still tucked into the towel, so only his little face visible. Eyes closed, he opened his mouth in a yawn, his tiny pink tongue arching out. Mom said, "Bat, do you remember when we smelled that skunk on the way to school this morning?" Bat did remember. They had smelled it just after they pulled off their street, Plum Lane, and onto Anderson Road. He had smelled it, and Mom had smelled it too. Bat had craned his neck, looking out each window carefully. He had seen lots of people on bicycles. They lived near college, and the students mostly rode bikes to class. And he'd seen other cars and some people on foot. It was the beginning of spring, but it was still cold, so he had seen lots of hats and scarves. He'd seen an American flag on a flagpole in front of the post office. And he'd seen a red bus. He'd seen a sign that read, "Welcome to Quincy, a bike-friendly town." But he had not seen a skunk. Bat nodded. "I remember," he said. "Well, unfortunately, the skunk we smelled but didn't see was the mama skunk. A car hit her, and a couple of college students brought her to my office in the basket of a bike. She was there waiting for me after I dropped you off at school, injured and very pregnant." "Is she okay?" Janie asked. "I wish I could say she was or she is," Mom answered. "I wasn't able to save the mother or the baby kits. Only this one lived. I was able to check the mother for diseases, though, and luckily she wasn't sick, which is a good sign that the kit isn't sick either." "That's awesome," Bat said. "Bat!" said Janie, loud and sharp. The kit twitched and shifted, scared by Janie's voice. "How can you say it's awesome? The mom died. The other babies died." Bat didn't mean that it was awesome that the other skunks had died. Of course that wasn't awesome. He meant that it was awesome that this kit had survived. But it wasn't worth it to try to explain to Janie what he'd meant. She usually misunderstood Bat. Most everyone did. "Can I?" Bat reached out for the kit, wanting so badly to hold him that his fingers twitched. "We can't keep him," Mom warned. "There's a wild animal rescue center that we can give him to in about a month, but they're too busy to take him just yet. So we can help him get bigger and stronger before we hand him over to the experts." They'll raise him until he's ready to be released into the wild when he's about 5 months old. Then she passed the tiny kit, wrapped in towels, into Bat's arms. The kit was so small that Bat couldn't even tell he was in the towel except for the tiny face that peeked out. He cradled the bundle in his arms. He felt his face stretch into a wide smile, so wide it made his cheeks sore.